Hi, it's Nikki Dodd in Mediation. I wanted to have a quick word about the Venus and Mars. I keep saying Mars and Virgo. Mars is in Virgo, but it is Venus and Mars conjunction. Now, this happens every couple of years, and I find this very noticeable especially when it hits a sensitive point. Even though they've been following each other for kind of like weeks, if not months, they actually don't always come together. So it's happening on, I'm looking at my dates here, it's happening on the 24th at 4 Virgo, and it happened previously to that on the 5th of October 2017, which was at 19th Virgo, and then previous to that it hit 3 times in 2015, so in February, September, November, and then previous to that was 2013. So it's pretty much every couple of years. The next time will be 13th of July 2021. Seems weird saying that, at 19 Virgo. So the reason why I find this important is if it's hitting a particular spot, in your chart, if it's in a return, any of your returns, so especially your Venus and Mars returns, it's important, your solar return, and even your lunar return, it's a really good opportunity. A lot of people talk about manifestation and they don't really explain what it is. Manifestation is about creation, and when you've got Venus and Mars coming together, it is in some ways about fertility and creation. And we're not talking about, it can be literal creation, physical creation with, are we talking about fertility with a child? But it also can be your own kind of creative projects coming together and being fertilized, the project starting off, the seed kind of germinating versus, you can keep seeds in a packet for ages, but the process of germinating is important. And this kind of goes across the board. So with Venus and Mars, you can talk physical. Usually it's physical because Mars and Sun and Moon tend to be more kind of like masculine, feminine, more kind of energetic side, internal. Mars and Venus tend to be more physical. I see that when you're working, especially if you're doing anything in the energetic spheres and the mystical sphere. So physical, so I'm messing up my words today. So Venus and Mars coming together can denote better physical health, or if you've got chronic illness, getting answers, getting something that clicks in, you go, okay, maybe this will help me, or maybe you've changed your routine and just in general, and then this is when you notice these big changes start to happen, out in the outside world. It can be to your physical body as well, so your physical changes as well. So perhaps you've been kind of hitting the gym hard and you've not really noticed that much. Maybe this Venus and Mars coming together, you go, oh, and you feel different because, as anyone knows, if you've gained or lost a lot of weight, and that body shape changes, you still have that mentality for a while, and often it's not until a certain moment where you look and you go, oh, I do look different in it, and you suddenly go, oh yeah, that's good. Sex, again, it's kind of self-explanatory. If there's if you want to expand your sex life, this is a really kind of good time as well, and especially if you look at sex as a kind of bonding exercise with your partner. So this is a really great time. Seeking relations, manifesting relationships in a physical form. So maybe you've done all of the kind of hard work, you put in the hard work to kind of do some work on yourself, and all these other things, and now it kind of can come into that manifestation. And when I see it in returns, and when I see it in kind of any returns, lunar, Venus, Mars, solar return, I tend to know that something significant is coming up in those areas. Now obviously lunar return, lots of people are going to have that in, but the closer it is in your other returns, usually there's a significant love interest, or there's a significant kind of change in your romantic life that is important, and that can be when you're in a relationship as well. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of use that energy in any way that you can. It is a great time to think about your own physicality. Do you like the way you look? Do you feel that you're having good sex? Do you feel that your creative projects are ready to be fertilized and let out to the world? So there's lots of ways that you can look at it, and you can use that energy, but also look at the opportunities that are coming up, because obviously this is about physical manifestation. So I talked about the physical act of sex and creation, but it can be creation for a project. So something that you've waited for a while could come into being, and maybe you need to see the opportunity to jump on it. But it's a really great opportunity. It's in Virgo. Virgo is obviously Earth, but it's also mercurial. So it is going to say, okay, this is practical. And there can be a practical reason. It can even be applied in the fact that you go and read some, good practical self-help books. You go and read some, you find some really good information, maybe even nutritional or any other to do with your diet or your health. That kind of is a game changer. It helps you, move forward. So it's a great opportunity if you want to use it. Now, there is the other side, is that you can use, the one thing that I find a lot of people have issues with is when we talk about if you read any kind of mind-body books or information, it talks about disease, talking about the illnesses that we kind of manifest in our body through not dealing with certain issues or not being aligned. Because when I talk about aligned, I'm talking about your energetic and your physical, or I'm talking about your different chakras, not energy centers, not being aligned. And that can be because we don't want to accept certain things about ourselves. And sexuality is one of them. Sometimes it's very hard for people to accept their own sexuality and them as a sexual being. And that's a really big, I find that with lots of people. And I wouldn't like to pull men out of it and just women, because I think that goes across to lots, to all genders, because I think it's not just a one gender problem. I think lots of people have issues where we don't want to accept perhaps one part of ourselves, and if we take the sexuality part of it, we don't want to take, because some of it is maybe we don't feel comfortable with it, maybe we don't feel that we're actually kind of should be doing it. There's a lot of kind of programming that goes on, direct and indirect, from whether it be our parents or society, and so as us as sexual beings, we don't always know what we should be doing or what we should be as a, is it right that I like this? So that acceptance can mean that if we're not accepting all of ourselves, then we can't really opt out and still be fully aligned in ourselves. And being aligned, you would have seen earlier videos when I talked about the Gandhi quote about, what you think, you say, you do is all aligned. That is really what I'm talking about. When you are aligned, and I'm kind of using the chakra as energetic and physical, you are actually a manifestation maestro, because you master it. Because when you do that, all your desires become your wants. So all of those, and I'm talking about desires as your need, your soul desiring something becomes your want, and therefore it is all aligned, and everything really happens quite quickly when you're, when you're on that kind of like in that middle of that flow. I wasn't going to use the word flow, but I think it's the best way to say it. So look out for that, which is later in this week, and if it on the 24th. And now, if you are if it's in any of your return charts, then you have that energy for that entire time of that return. So don't miss out on it. Don't miss out on the opportunity. Don't miss out on the opportunities that it brings as well, but also the opportunities to do some work on it. Take some classes. Especially if it's turned to your health or your body image. Kind of delve into it, because it's a really great time to kind of get that, kind of make that change stick. You know, often we've done all the lifestyle things, but actually for us to see ourselves different and to have that kind of like change stick with us, so we can't go back, we can't fall back. It takes some time, and this is a really great opportunity to try and use that energy. Anyway, let me know how it goes for you, and keep in mind, have a look at your returns, anything happening around the 24th. They will be following each other in the sky for a while. Are you really looking for the applying or a tight conjunction for the best expression of it? But yeah, you know, even if it's a little bit wider, do take it into consideration and have a think about how you can use that energy.